And now, Legal Perspective with Nick Clekis.
South Carolina drivers, consider this your warning. The South Carolina Hands-Free Distracted Driving Act goes into effect later this year. Here to break down this new legislation is Nick Clekis, owner of Clekis Law Firm. Nick, thanks for being here with us today.
Thanks.
So what is this South Carolina hands-free law?
Well, we had a watered-down version, which was like a $25 fine if you're texting and driving, and nobody ever really got arrested or fined for it. I mean, it just really was kind of a lame law. So they've supposedly put some teeth into it. Now, starting September 1st, if you're really pulled for something else and it's found that you're texting and driving or have the phone to your face, it's a $100 fine for the first offense, $200 for the second, and a 2-point violation. A 2-point violation, if you have a safe driving discount, that goes away. It raises your insurance rates if you have no other marks on your license. So that's fairly significant. I don't think it's significant enough. But basically, you can't drive anymore with the phone on your face.
Okay, so it goes into effect September 1st. And you said if they pull you over for something else and they find that you're texting or have the phone to your face, so they can't pull you for texting or driving or having the phone to your face. Is that what I'm understanding?
Right. It's not a individual. You're not going to see police pulling people over just because they have the phone up to their face.
So you can use Bluetooth to talk on the phone and, Siri, hey Siri, da-da-da, but you can't physically be using your phone while you're driving. Yeah,
and it's interesting, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but there's a section where it says that you have to be stopped. And so the question becomes, if you're at a red light,
exactly,
can you be doing, because it does allow you, I know one of your questions was, what are the exceptions? I mean, obviously police and certain things are, GPS is one of the exceptions. So you're able to plug in your coordinates. So who's to say, look, I have my phone on my holder, who's to say that I'm driving and I don't put in, Fox TV Arco Lane, oh, were you texting and driving? They can look back at the history and all of that, but still, I mean, if I got pulled for that, it's like, oh, I was just putting in my GPS coordinates. It's kind of a do-nothing law, really.
Yeah, and it seems like with this law, exactly, there's a lot of loopholes. Do you think, or typically when laws like this happen, as time goes on, they start to kind of fine-tooth comb things, or is that typically how stuff like this works?
I hope that this gains more momentum. You hear people say all the time that texting and driving is almost like DUI because it's so distracting. And so jumping ahead, because I really am passionate about this as a personal injury attorney, is that we see so many cases where people are injured because they get struck by somebody that's texting and driving, and there's no consequence for that. And a $100 fine is not really what we want. What we want is that if you run into my client or my family and you kill a child because you were texting and driving, that ought to immediately trigger punitive damages. That ought to immediately trigger damages above and beyond those consequential damages that take you into the stratosphere to say that you were DUI. And it doesn't go that far, and hopefully it will. It started out as a $25 thing, then it went to $50, now it's $100 and $200. And hopefully it'll be, if you're found to have been in an accident and it is determined from your phone history, because that's the first thing we ask for in litigation is, who's your carrier? We're looking at your phone records. And we still claim distracted driving, and we still claim all of that, but it should be automatic that it triggers punitive damages if you use the same language in a felony DUI. It could create serious bodily injury or death. It should be punitive.
So I understand from a legal perspective, you aren't really agreeing with how they're starting this law, but hopefully, like you said, it's a stepping stone, and we'll get to a point where it keeps growing and we get to a point where punitive damages are a thing. Of course, all of your legal needs, 843-900000000, Clekis.com is where you can go. Nick, always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
We're back in 2 minutes.
This has been Legal Perspective with Nick Clekis.